Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Monday. It's Daryl here. It's 5:10 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. It's going to be 61 degrees. That is balmy for Connecticut for February. I am excited. I can't wait to spend. I'm going to be out suntanning on the back deck after I get done with work. All right. I want to talk about a channel I just came across. It's called Johnny B. It appears the guy's from Oregon. To be honest, I just watched one or two videos. I haven't really checked them out big yet. I got a feeling the rest of the videos are similar. At first, he's got 44,000 subscribers, so he's considerably larger than me, but considerably smaller than a lot of the other channels whose my subscribers also view, like Bo and so on. Anyway, I hit the button again thinking that I knew what this was going to be. I thought it was going to be a liberal guy. I don't know why, just the look of it, I guess. And it popped up on my channel, so I checked it out. Yeah, it's a total conservative anti-liberal channel. But the more I watched it, the more I realized I kind of like the guy. He talked exclusively about guns. And personally, this is my opinion. I think he had a huge misconception of a lot of liberals. A huge misconception that we all want to take their guns away. Not true. Not even close to true. All right. It's kind of funny. He talked about, at the end, he talked about stereotypes, about how the liberals all look at him and think of Joe Bunkin and pry my gun from my cold, dead hands. That was his quote. He actually kind of did a representation of what he thinks liberals would view him as. But at the same time, he was using a stereotype looking back at us. And I realized, I think we got a lot in common if we just stop for a minute. Okay, he talks about the Constitution, and he has this idea that we want to tear up the Constitution. And it sounded like he thinks that us people from blue states, we want to move to red states to take them over. I'm not sure. No. I'll be honest with you. I'm almost scared to move to a red state. I'm quite happy here in my little blue Connecticut. First of all, I can't be in any landlocked state, red or blue. I need to live near an ocean. That's just the way it's always going to be. He made it sound like all liberals want to take away all the guns. It's a misconception. It's a total misconception. Look, there's been very large, noted, newsworthy shootings here in Connecticut. The lottery headquarters shooting, and of course we all know about Sandy Hook, which is not even 20 minutes from here. It's not about taking guns away. At least not me and not any of the other liberal Democratic people I know. We don't want to take away anybody's guns. I own guns. I grew up with guns. My father had me shooting a double barrel Antonio Zoli over and under shotgun, double-aught buck, when I was about 8 years old, 7 or 8 years old, knocked me on my ass. I inherited guns. I own guns. I have no problem with them. I grew up out in the woods. What I have a problem with is guns being distributed in such a way that we have no record of who they're going to, that anybody, I'm worried about domestic violence is a huge flag on my landscape. And I think people that are involved and arrested in domestic violence and own guns shouldn't have those guns. There's been so many cases around here with women, wives and girlfriends being murdered. It's not about taking away guns. Look, first of all, it's not doable. It's just not doable. There's millions and millions and millions of guns. The cow's out of the barn, man. Nobody's going to take back all the guns. Nobody wants to take back all the guns. Nobody wants to come and take away your guns. Seriously, I don't believe that. Background checks, not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I mean, do you want violent felons next to you down the street, around your kid's school? Do you want these people owning weapons? Really? Do you want mentally unstable people in possession of semi-automatic weapons? And yes, I know the difference between AR-15. I know what an assault. I know lots of weapons are called assault weapons just by the way they look. I understand. I grew up with guns. I know. Excuse me. So most of this video was about this: liberals coming to take your guns. And for you, it works great for you because it's something where you can all rally behind and hate on liberals. And you know what? A lot of us liberals probably do the same thing because we despise Trump, and it's something that brings us all together. I have no problem with guns. I have a problem with our current occupant of the White House, the disgrace. Take, for instance, the firing of Lieutenant Colonel Vindman, a Purple Heart recipient, soldier, being disgraced and fired from the White House for doing his job. That disgusts me. The three branches of government being blurred, that disgusts me. And this Johnny B talked about how we want to tear up we don't respect the Constitution. Look at the man in the White House and talk to me about respecting the Constitution. He daily violates the Constitution, the Emoluments Clause. Just one thing after another. That's what we have a problem with. Guns, no, man, no, not high up on our radar. Not mine, not the people I know, not the liberals in my circles. So we do have that in common. We don't want to take away your guns. Do we want to get rid of the person in the White House? Yeah. I voted Republican before. I have said this before. There's Republican aspects that I agree with. The death penalty, I think, is valid sometimes. I have no problem with gun ownership. There's a lot of Republican stuff I agree with. What I have a problem with is the current resident of the White House. I don't believe he's working in the best interest of America. I believe he puts himself first, him and his ego first. Take for instance this one thing. I'll just say this one thing and I'll put my argument to rest. Take for instance this recent, it's been brought to light that Russia wants to or is interfering in the 2020 elections. Now you can debate this. You could say it's a hoax, that people just hate Trump, blah, blah, blah. But these are our national security agencies bringing this to light. I know. So now you're going to say, "Oh, it's the deep state. I forget the name of the billionaires. It's George Soros. Is that one of those guys? You know, it's all, they're all bought, and you guys will come up with conspiracy theories for that." Here's what concerns me, okay? As soon as this was brought up, hoax or not, it should be investigated. This is our democracy. These are our elections, okay? And what did Trump do? He called it a hoax immediately. Didn't even talk about the possibility or that it should be looked into. No, he was concerned with himself first. He said that this information was going to be weaponized against him. So all he was concerned about was himself, not the country. That's what bothers me, not guns. And I think I speak for a large amount of other liberals too. Just a little message to my friend Johnny B. All right, you guys have a good Monday.